We'll go back to last year. Obviously, you were having a pretty good season and then a season-ending injury.
Yeah.
So coming into this year, there's probably a little bit of unknown because you hadn't raced in so long. So to start the season pretty well and be pretty consistent in the top 10, and if you're not top 10, you're very close to it. So you must be happy with the start of your season, considering you missed so much racing last year, because it's not easy to come back.
No, it's not, and from an ACL, obviously it's a long time off the bike, especially in the beginning. There was 6 weeks for me with no weight bearing, so lost a lot of muscle in my leg, and it was really, I wasn't thinking about the riding or like when I was going to get back on a bike. It was just get myself back to fitness and even just in shape to ride a bike again. So it was a strange period, like having a summer at home. Obviously, haven't done that for a long time.
In England?
Yeah,
okay.
Summer in England, so I haven't done that for a long time, which was on one hand quite nice, but yeah, came into this season a little bit unknown. When you've missed out on doing a lot of races, it takes a couple to get back into it, but you know, I took the surgery when I did because then I knew that I was going to be back on the bike in the off season, and I could have a solid winter ready for the first race, so I wasn't on the back foot too much. And then also last year I had a good start to the season. I was in 10th in the championship at one point when I had the injury in Portugal. And then so it's been a similar start again this year. Always fighting around that top 10. I feel like I need to find a few things here and there to take that next step. But I do feel like my riding's better this year on the track during the races. It's just my starts are letting me down massively. So myself and the team together, we're all working to try and improve that. And I think if we can fix that just even a little bit, it will help me take the next step.
And just on your winter, firstly, when did you get back on a bike, and what did you do for winter? Did you spend most of it in Italy, or did you go other places in Europe?
So I got back on the bike middle of November, more towards the end of November.
Right, okay.
Then I rode all the way up to almost Christmas time. Came home for Christmas with the family, New Year, and then beginning of January we spent it in Sardinia. So I had a really good training camp there. I was still in Sardinia a little bit, thinking about my knee and not to do anything crazy. So just getting laps in. I was riding around with a lot of arm pump, and those kind of things took a little while to shake out. So I didn't have the greatest off season in Sardinia, but I also didn't have any issues, and I kept plugging away, and in the end I felt a lot better even within that couple of weeks. So I did that, and then it was the pre-season races with an Italian team. Of course we did the Italian Championship, and then we started in Argentina and pretty much been on the road since, to be honest. And
just on the beta, obviously this is your third year with them now, if I'm not wrong. What's the bike like now compared to when you first got on the bike? And I'm assuming any of the changes have been done. You're pretty much developing this bike. Okay, Van Hoorbeek done a good job before you, but that was with a different team, so you guys probably had to start from scratch. So that was mainly you. How do you feel like developing the bike? If you look at other brands, Ducati for example, they've got Lupino and Caroli to do that job, whereas you were quite young at the time. But how do you find the developing side, and how different is the bike now compared to day one?
It's good in some ways, and it's difficult in other ways, because as a rider, you want a good package that you have confidence and trust in, and then you just stick with that, and then you can fine-tune yourself a little bit to find the steps, and also the bike with suspension and maybe gearing and bits and bobs like that to each different race. But I've enjoyed, because I'm very direct with the factory, so if I have something that I need or feel like we can change, I speak directly with them, and it's quite easy to communicate. But obviously it takes time. If you want something changing, it needs testing. I can't just make a big change on the bike and then let's go into the World Championship with it, because you need to do durability testing, and some things like that take actually probably longer than what people can imagine. So the winter's always a good time to try and say what we want, but sometimes it's not even going to be ready before the middle of the season. So that's the difficult part of it, and there's always, everyone in the paddock will want something changing with the bike and making it improve, but I think they've made really, really good steps since the beginning of 2023 when I joined the team, and now it's my third year, so always improving, and I do believe the only direction we can go is up, and the guys are all working really hard behind the scenes. So I've obviously many people have seen Zach Osborne's
yes, I was surprised by that.
as a brand ambassador and to help develop the bike. So I think he can also bring a lot of experience, and again, another top rider to get on the bike and feel some things that maybe immediately says, no, this needs to be changed or this needs to be changed. So I think it's good to have people like that, and yeah, you see with Ducati, they took Tony for this reason, and obviously with Bino.
And you mentioned Zach there. I was actually quite surprised by that press release. Didn't see that coming. Did you know that was going to be happening? Have you spoke to Zach at all, or is that something that you'll maybe do? Reach out to him?
Yeah, no, I've spoken to him, and he's always been really good with me actually. He's always saying a good job or replying to stories, little things like that. You know, he seems like a really cool guy, and I knew a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, not before that. I didn't know how long it's been a done deal for, but yeah, I did hear a couple of weeks ago. So also new for me, but I was really happy when that was done.
And do you think we'll be seeing him at some GPs then, or do you not know that yet?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you'll be looking to tap into his experience then whenever you can?
Yeah, I'm hoping that he can come over, and because our bike compared to the USA guys is a little bit different, because you know we have different fuel regulations, and also with the noise control. So there's a few things that allows their bike to be a bit different to ours. So hopefully he can come over, ride my bike, do some riding with us, and see what he thinks.
And I mean, see, when you look at Beta in the paddock, it's basically only you guys and your team doing it. You know, you don't get that many privateers going out and getting a ban of Beta. I don't know why. Do you feel like maybe the job you're doing it's going under the radar a little bit? Because you're doing quite well, you know, to be getting top 10, top 15 in MXGP.
Yeah, a little bit under the radar, but on the other hand, the bike's not that easily available at the moment.
Okay.
Thinking, obviously, this is the first year. Last year it was. The bike was available for the public, but they made a very limited number.
Okay.
I think this year now they're going to up the number again. I think they were seeing how it was going, and so it's not a bike that you'll see many people on the training tracks with, or in Italy a little bit more. But it's quite surprising, because if you go to an enduro event, or Beta is the biggest thing, and I genuinely believe they have the best bike there. So I think they've got their goals set high, and they're just taking it steady for the moment, but they're working hard behind the scenes. Also in the factory, if you see the new production line they've got in the works now for the motocross bike, it's going to be good in the future.
There is talk about a 250 MX2 motocross bike coming. Have you heard anything about that? I have heard whispers of a GP team, but you probably can't tell me much about that.
Yeah, I've heard and I've seen some stuff, but yeah,
we'll have to wait and see.
It's a little bit like us. Everything's being developed, and it takes time. So I don't think there's really a set date on when something's going to be coming out, or when they're going to be on the start line. But
is that something you'd like to get involved in, like to help test the 250 if that's a route they're going to go down?
Not really at the moment, because I'm the main rider who's racing in the World Championship for them. There's only two of us, me and Tom, so I'm focused on my job at the moment, and I still have a lot of work and things that I want to work with the 450, so I'm still focused on that. But no, of course in my spare time or in the off season, it's always nice to jump on a 250.
And you live in Italy now, and I was actually speaking to your brother Nathan at Arco, and he lives near Bergamo. Do you live near him? It must be nice to have him in Italy with you. And how do you find living in Italy now? Is it like home? Or
no, it's not home.
Yet.
And honestly, I don't like it there.
Really?
No, it's not. It's not what people think.
Okay.
If you imagine Italy, like I'm going to Italy on holiday, you go into a specific place, a nice area. But if there's some amazing places in Italy, and it's a very, I don't know, like you've got the real amazing coastlines. You've got the weather is obviously 10 times better than what we have, especially in the summer. And there's skiing there. There's everything. It is an amazing country, but on the other hand, it seems like, I don't know, hundreds of years behind us. Where I'm living, for example, compared to what I'm used to at home, it's things like that are just not the same. And there's small bits and bobs, but it's nice in one way, but it definitely doesn't feel like home.
When it comes to Brits and MXGP, we've only really got yourself and Adam. Are you proud that, like, without you guys, there'd be no Brits in MXGP, and that wouldn't be great? Are you proud of what you're doing, and especially on the Beta? You must be, like.
Yeah, I am, and I've got my head down just for myself, to be honest, because I've got a great family, and very small group of supportive people who are coming here on the races and helping me out. And you see a few fans that are the diehards that have been there when I've been at my worst, you know, and I'm injured and stuff. But I feel like because I don't race in the UK anymore, I'm a little bit under the radar for a lot of the British fans, and I think sometimes a lot of people underestimate the pace of MXGP, and they only see my result of 12th, and they're like,
so
no,
true.
It's not good enough. And especially because at one point I was winning GP, so a lot of people also expect more from me. And although I know I can do better, I still feel like I'm doing a good job at the moment, and I'm not done. You know, I still feel like I've got something to give.
And goals for now and the rest of the season, is there something you'd like to achieve? And like you touched on earlier, I think you've got pace, just the starts have been letting you down. Is that something you're trying to work on and improve out of the bike, or maybe it's a you problem? What do you think?
Yeah, I have to improve my time practice a lot, because one session leads on to the next, and my time practice is bad, which is giving me a bad gate pick for the qualifying race. And then if I'm getting a bad start in the qualifying race, it's knocked my position down for the races on the Sunday. So I have to work there a lot, and it's always been a little problem of mine. But especially now that the pace is so high that you actually have to take some risks to get a good lap inside that top 10. But goals wise, I mean, yeah, I keep saying top 10, but I feel like when I get in the top 10 in the GPs, I've done a good job. And when I look at the names around me, if there's more than 10, you know, I don't know how many GP winners or world champions there is there at the moment, but it's a crazy lineup. So just need to stay consistent, keep plugging away, and remember that it is a long season.
And you mentioned at the Motocross of the Nations, when you were a show on the Pop MX show about doing an AMA National, I think you did have plans to do maybe 1 or 2 this year. Is that still in the plans, or maybe not?
It was, yeah, and it was all agreed from Beta and the team and everything. Okay. And then the calendar changed when Indonesia got cancelled.
Okay.
Finland was put on a date where I wanted to go, and
right.
Then it got put spanners in the works. So it was, nothing's been confirmed again yet. But I would love to do one race, because for me, you know, we can just take my suspension and use the bike out there. So it's quite easy in that way. It's more like just getting myself there and doing it. But yeah, it's a goal of every rider to go and do an AMA National, because I don't know, I feel like it's almost a different sport out there compared to here. And this track's here in Spain is really nice. I feel like in America they're all like this. They're all nice, fast, quite open, good jumps. So it's not to go there and get a specific result, but I just think it would be a really fun and cool experience. And
just on the future, you're one of the more experienced guys in MXGP now. How many years do you see yourself racing motocross? And there had been whispers before the start of this year, maybe you could be doing enduro in the future. But firstly, hopefully we'll see you in this paddock for a few more years yet.
Yeah, no, I'm 27, so I've still got a lot of time. I mean, you see Glenn now, I think he's, I don't want to put years on him.
34, I think, yeah.
34 maybe, so yeah. I definitely feel like physically I'm in better shape than ever right now. And I feel like from 2022 I've slowly gone up. So if I can just keep going in this direction, Enduro was definitely not on the cards.
Good.
That was a strange rumour that went around, obviously, because my brother's racing for Beta and World Enduro. So I think it was just a strange rumour, but no, that was never on the cards. And I signed an extension with the team, so the contract was done anyway. And I'll still be in MXGP for a few more years.
Good to hear. And is that a 1-year deal you're on at Beta? Or is there an option?
Next
year as well. That's good. That's good to have that future secure.
Yeah, no.
Perfect. Thank you, Ben. Much appreciate your time.
Thank you.